Jim Bain on leadership, ethics and building a legacy of integrity. Jim Bain still remembers the case that changed how he practiced law. It wasn't the size of the client or the dollar figure attached to the dispute. It was a conversation at a kitchen table, with a family he knew personally, that made him realize the law is never just about statutes and strategy. I recognized I wasn't just managing legal problems, Jim Bain says. I was caring for someone who trusted me during an extremely stressful period of their life. That shift in thinking, from technician to steward, has defined more than 5 decades of legal work for Bain, much of it built in Colorado's courtrooms and conference rooms. He graduated cum laude from the University of Connecticut in 1972, where he was inducted into the Phi Beta Kappa Honor Society. He earned his law degree, also cum laude, from the University of Florida in 1976. Along the way he taught trial practice and appellate advocacy at both the University of Florida and the University of Colorado law schools, giving him a rare dual perspective as both practitioner and teacher of the next generation of lawyers. Before Colorado, there was Tennessee. Bain joined the Tennessee Valley Authority's legal department, a staff of 90 attorneys, and by 1980 he was leading TVA's damage analysis team in the uranium antitrust litigation, a sprawling multi-district case in which his client recovered $250 million from Gulf Oil. It was a formative test of discipline under pressure, the kind that would shape everything that came next in his career. In 1985, Bain moved to Denver and joined Roth and Braga, then considered the preeminent law firm in Colorado. He became a partner at Braga and Winters in 1990, then helped found Benjamin Bain and Howard in 2004. The firm added Al Cohen in 2009, becoming Benjamin Bain, Howard & Cohen, a boutique commercial real estate practice that earned recognition from Newsweek's showcase of Colorado lawyer profiles and produced 4 super lawyers among its partners. Along the way, he edited the Construction Forum of the Colorado Lawyer for more than 2 decades. His body of work earned formal recognition as well. Bain received the Civil Litigation Writing Award from the Colorado Bar Association for 1986-87, and he was later selected for Outstanding Lawyers of America, an honor limited to 100 attorneys per state. He also appeared in marquee Who's Who in American Law, Who's Who in America and Who's Who in the World. None of that, Bain says, is really the point. The point is what the work demanded of him, case after case, decade after decade. Colorado's legal culture shapes Jim Bain's view of accountability. Practicing law in Colorado, particularly in construction and commercial real estate, meant working inside an adversarial system where reputations traveled fast and mistakes were rarely forgotten. Bain built his career representing clients whose futures, not just their finances, hung on the outcome of a case. That environment sharpened him. Credibility is an attorney's most valuable asset, Bain says. I shoot straight with clients, even when the message is difficult. He applied the same standard to opposing counsel. Bain has said he managed to get along with even the most intractable lawyers on the other side of a case, not by softening his positions but by staying rooted in professionalism. The practice of law is adversarial by design, he says, and that makes civility a discipline rather than a nicety extended out of politeness. Colorado's legal community, tight enough that lawyers routinely faced the same opponent's case after case, reinforced a lesson that took years to fully absorb. Reputation is not built in a single case. Reputation is built over decades and can be lost in a moment, so I have always treated it as sacred, Bain says. That belief followed him through construction litigation, real estate disputes and arbitration panels alike. Bain's published work, including pieces in the Colorado Lawyer and the University of Denver Law Review, often returned to the same territory: how negligence claims, builder-vendor liability and public construction contracting demanded not just legal skill but consistent ethical footing. Why integrity requires more than following the rules. For Jim Bain, Colorado, integrity is not a compliance checkbox. It is the consistency between what a person values, what they decide and what they actually do, especially when nobody is watching and the pressure is highest. That principle showed up early in his career, during the case involving the family he knew personally. He had planned to approach the matter the way he approached every case, working through case law, procedure and negotiation strategy. But sitting with the family, he understood the legal outcome would ripple into their finances, their reputation and their long-term stability. The case demanded more than a win. It demanded judgment. I learned that being an effective attorney isn't only about mastering statutes and arguments, Bain says. It's about judgment, empathy and communication. From that point forward, Bain says he focused as much on guiding clients through uncertainty as he did on winning their cases. He worked to explain risks clearly, set realistic expectations and help clients make informed decisions rather than emotional ones. It's a small shift in emphasis that, over a career spanning Tennessee and Colorado alike, adds up to a very different kind of practice than the one he started with as a young associate. Bain traces the roots of that discipline back further, to a decision he made before law school. He had been working as a carpenter subcontractor when the construction market was strong, but he couldn't count on steady work going forward and wasn't eager to keep doing physical labor as he got older. He weighed an MBA against a law degree and chose law, drawn less by any single moment of inspiration than by a growing curiosity about the legal system's role in society. I appreciated that law requires both analytical precision and sound judgment, Bain says. The rules and precedents must be applied thoughtfully in real-world situations that affect people's lives. Jim Bain takes ownership when something goes wrong. Ask Bain what leadership looks like under pressure, and he doesn't talk about grand gestures. He talks about preparation and correction. I always thoroughly analyze and prepare, Bain says. Should I make a mistake, I address it directly and correct it. That's a simple formula, but it's one Bain has applied consistently, whether managing a damage analysis team in a 9-figure antitrust case or mentoring younger lawyers navigating their first major matter. Mistakes happen. What separates a credible professional from an unreliable one, in his view, is what happens in the hours after the mistake surfaces, not the mistake itself. Bain also rejects the idea that talent alone explains professional success. Working hard and harder than your opponent is what leads to success, he says. I don't know any other way, and my habits have served me well over the years. That ethic of sustained effort, paired with a willingness to own errors quickly, became something like a leadership template for the attorneys who worked under him at Benjamin Bain, Howard and Cohen. He carries that same accountability into his personal life. Bain has said that professional achievement means little without well-being in meaningful relationships, and that taking care of physical and mental health has become as central to his definition of success as any case outcome. Jim Bain leads teams through clear expectations in Colorado. Running a Colorado firm built around commercial real estate and construction law meant managing teams through complex, high-stakes disputes where ambiguity was the norm, not the exception. Bain's approach centered on clarity. Set expectations early. Communicate openly. Build a culture where team members feel ownership over outcomes, not just tasks assigned to them. That philosophy extended beyond his own firm. As chairman of the Legal Advisory Committee for the Associated General Contractors of Colorado, and as a member of the National Panel of Arbitrators for the American Arbitration Association, Bain regularly worked with professionals outside his direct supervision, where influence had to come from credibility rather than authority. It's a distinction that matters. Anyone can give directions. Fewer people can build the kind of trust that makes those directions worth following. For Bain, that trust was never assumed. It was earned case by case, decision by decision, across a career spent largely in the Colorado legal community, where his name became attached to a specific standard of practice. Now, Bain continues to view his time in the legal profession less as a list of cases won and more as a record of decisions that held up over time. He has said the achievements he values least are the ones that made headlines. The ones he values most are the outcomes that protected people who trusted him, and the younger attorneys he helped develop into confident, independent professionals in their own right.